Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wanted to make your descriptions, really pop, to make them more powerful? Well, today we're going to unlock the secret. We're talking about using special words to compare basically anything and everything. Let's dive right in.
Okay, let's start off with a super easy one. Which is smaller, a mouse or an elephant? The mouse, right? Of course. See, you already know how to do this. You've got the basic idea down, so now let's just learn the simple rules that turn that gut feeling into a real skill.
You know all those words we use to describe things? Words like small, big, fast, or friendly? Well, they have a special name. They're called adjectives. And these little words, they are the absolute key to comparing everything around us.
So, how does this actually work? Well, the most important thing to know is whether you're comparing just two things side by side, or if you're trying to find the number one, the top of the heap, in a whole group. Each of those situations uses a slightly different kind of word.
First up, we've got the comparative adjective. This is the tool you grab when you're comparing just two things. Think about it, a bike versus a car, a hot day versus a cold day. The second you're comparing a pair of things, you're going to need one of these comparative words. But what if you have three things? Or 4, or 100. For that, you need something different. You need a superlative adjective. And the name kind of gives it away. It's for finding something super, the absolute highest quality, the number one in the whole group. It's how we find out who's the champ.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to start with the most common way to make these comparisons. It all starts with short, simple words. And honestly, it's a rule you are going to use all the time.
So the first rule is just incredibly simple. For those short adjectives, the ones that are usually just one syllable, you just stick an ER on the end to compare two things, and you add EST to find the top one in a group. That's pretty much it.
And you can see the pattern right away, can't you? Big becomes bigger when you're comparing two things, and biggest for a group of 3 or more. Same exact logic for fast, becoming faster and fastest, and tall becoming taller and tallest. It's this simple, predictable system.
Let's build a quick example so you can see it in action. We'll start with a basic idea, okay? A car is fast. It's a fine description, right? But it's not really comparing it to anything, at least not yet.
Now, let's bring a train into the picture. So, compared to the car, what is the train? A train is faster. You see that? We just added the ER because now we are officially comparing a pair, the car and the train.
And finally, whoosh, a plane shows up. So now we have 3 things: the car, the train, and the plane. Out of all of them, the plane is the fastest. We use est because we're looking at a group of 3 and finding the undisputed champion of speed.
Okay, so that's all well and good for short words. But what happens when our describing words get a little longer? We can't just keep adding letters to the end. It would start to sound really silly. So there's another super simple rule for that. Right, so for these longer adjectives, the ones with 2 or more syllables, we just leave the word alone. We don't change it at all. Instead, we put a little helper word in front of it, either more or most. This is what keeps our sentences sounding nice and smooth. Let's look at a couple of examples. Can you imagine saying importanter? It just sounds clunky, right? It doesn't roll off the tongue. That's exactly why we use these helper words. Friendly becomes more friendly, and important becomes more important. And to find the top one, it's most friendly and most important. Easy.
Okay, you've seen the main rules now. I think you're totally ready for a quick little challenge, a pop quiz, if you will. Let's see how you do. All right, you ready? Fill in the blank here. An action movie is blank, then a drama. The word is exciting. So exciting is a longer word, and we're only comparing 2 things, an action movie and a drama, which means the answer is more exciting. Yes, you got it.
Now, just like in any language, there are always a few rebels, a few words that just refuse to follow the rules. But don't you worry, because the ones you'll use the most are actually really easy to remember.
We call these irregular adjectives. And there's no secret trick to them. They just have their own special forms for comparing. But the good news is, you've probably been using them correctly your whole life without even thinking twice about it.
Here they are, the 2 biggest, most important rule breakers you need to know: good and bad. We never ever say gooder, it's always better. And we definitely don't say baddest, we say worst. If you just burned these 2 sets into your brain, good, better, best, and bad, worst, worst, you are going to sound so much more natural.
Rules are one thing, But let's see how this all comes together in a real story. Picture this. It's school sports day. The sun is shining, everyone's competing. It's the perfect place for a ton of comparisons.
Okay, so, in the throwing event, Maria steps up. Her throw was long. That's a good start. Then Ben has his turn. And his throw was longer. See? We're comparing two people. But then, Anya takes her throw, and it was the longest of the entire day. She's number 1.
And now, let's look at the big race. Here come our rule breakers. The start of the race was good. Everyone got off the line cleanly. But the middle part, oh, it was better, because that's when Leo took the lead. And the finish? Well, the finish was the absolute best part, because he set a new school record.
So there you have it. You've learned the basic rules, you've seen them in action, and you've spotted those tricky rule breakers. Now it's time for the most important step of all, for you to actually use this stuff.
So, here's a little challenge for you. Think about 3 movies you really, really love. Now try to rank them. Which one is good? Which one is better? And which one is the absolute best? Go on, give it a shot. Because learning this isn't just about grammar. It's about making everything you say and write clearer, more interesting, and way more powerful.